So, we've heard the speculation that perhaps Patrick Stevenson hid Samantha Murphy's remains in an old mine shaft. But what if a story from a nearby area from the 1800s gives us a clue as to a different type of hiding place where Stevenson may have left Samantha's remains? A little over half an hour from Ballarat is a town called Daylesford. This is a popular town for people to visit, with regular cultural events as well as local attractions such as the Daylesford Mill. For visitors to Daylesford, there's also a memorial a little ways off the road just outside of Daylesford, and a 30-kilometre round walk. That is a memorial walk that people may choose to do. This 30-kilometre walking trail followed the route of 3 young boys who, in July of 1867, wandered from their homes and perished in the bush. These boys were 2 brothers, William, 6, and Thomas, 4, and their neighbour, Alfred, who was 5. They had decided to go searching for wild goats one Sunday and ended up getting lost. Many witnesses encountered them and tried to redirect them in the right direction so that they could return to their homes at Wombat Creek. And yet, boys being boys, they chose to continue on their mission. Being July, it was winter. It was the coldest part of winter. And Daylesford can become very, very cold in winter. So there was a massive search for these boys. The whole town shut down on the Monday, and it said that there were like 700 people searching for these boys, and yet they couldn't find them. It was 9 weeks later, in mid-September, when the boys were finally found, after a local dog made the somewhat grisly discovery, returning home carrying a child's boot, inside of which was a small foot. So, a renewed search of the nearby area led to the discovery of the boys' remains, lying where they had sheltered inside a hollow tree. For me, as a Bendigo local, Daylesford is somewhat further out, being a bit over an hour's drive away. So, while I do enjoy going there for the occasional visit, I'm not hugely familiar with any of its history. So I only recently heard this story about the lost boys from Daylesford. But it got me wondering, with Daylesford being close to Ballarat, is this story something that perhaps Ballarat locals are familiar with? Something that perhaps children learn of when they're growing up? Is it possible that Patrick Stevenson heard the stories as a child? Perhaps he even had places where he used to play in the bush as a child, where there were hollow trees where you could hide and shelter. Is it possible that while we've been questioning the possibility of Samantha being in an abandoned mine shaft, that perhaps there's a hollow tree or hollow log somewhere in the Ballarat area in which Samantha's remains are concealed?